Welcome to Diver Gamer Lab, a channel where an employed neurodivergent gamer has to make videos or succumb to capitalism. In today's video, I will fight for survival by explaining Linux to strangers online who have divergent brains like mine. Or don't, I don't control who clicks. I'm just a ADHD guy that have things to share to people who relate. Why not Windows? It pushes updates that change our system without asking, and in the worst possible hours. It pre-installs bloat that you never asked for, like Candy Crush or Netflix. It sends pop-ups for Microsoft products in your notification center without asking. In terms of customization, Windows was never exactly flexible. The user interface is mostly locked. If you want to change how things work, you either break the system or give up. Security also isn't great by design. Most users still run as admin, and malware spreads easily because of that. But the biggest reason I migrate from Windows is that Microsoft is pushing hard for AI features like Copilot or even Microsoft Recall that can scan and log everything you do on our computer. It's a Microsoft wet dream. To be honest, Windows wasn't always terrible. It was okay before, but it was a finished product you bought. But we live in the age of uncertification, and now Windows acts like a subscription, even if you don't subscribe. Actually, maybe you are the service and Windows is subscribed to your data. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's like your landlord showing up every week to install new furniture and spy cams, all in the name of productivity. Well, if none of this bothers you and you want to keep using Windows, I recommend checking out Chris Titus Windows Utility. It cleans up some of the nonsense, but let's be honest, it's still a cleanup tool for an OS that shouldn't need one. Why not macOS? macOS was my main OS for 2 years and is not bad for development. Apple whole thing is, it just works. Yeah, it does work until you need it to work differently. Macs are more secure than Windows, terminal is powerful, homebrew exists. But at the end of the day, you still depend on Apple's ecosystem. They also collect telemetry, even if they are more subtle about it than Microsoft. And Apple decides when your device stops being supported, even if it still works fine. Most games just doesn't work. Crossover can help, but it's very inconsistent. You'll need dongles, lots of dongles, and you'll need to buy a whole new machine just to get more RAM or more internal space. So in conclusion, macOS is great! As long as your needs, preference and dreams align perfectly with what a $1 trillion fruit company pre-approved in a boardroom 5 years ago. Try to change Safari's search engine. You'll find just corporate polygamy in a drop-down menu. Why Linux? Let's start with what all Linux distros have in common. First of all, I need to make clear that, contrary to Greek myths, you don't need to use terminal on Linux. It's just a very powerful tool that you can choose to use. Package managers. No more hunting on websites with 7 download buttons. To showcase how a package manager works, I will install the video editor I used to edit this very own video you are watching now. In the Linux distro I'm using, I just need to type paru-s meaning sync, davinci-resolve, my password to allow installation, want to choose a safe provider, and confirm. After a few seconds, it is installed and ready to use. But for an even easier way to install things, you can open the program software, search for what you need, and click install. That's it. It is that simple. And when you get used to it, it's hard to let go. System level safety. User permissions prevent one wrong click from wrecking your setup. Important changes will ask for a password and many times will show a warning. You will always know when to give it your attention or just do things on autopilot. No forced updates. You update when you decide it. Did it ever happen to you when you are shutting down your PC and Windows Update keep it on for some minutes or even ask for a restart? It won't happen on Linux. You will only update when it's convenient to you and it will show exactly what's changing on your system. Work on most hardware, old, new, weird. Usually someone already made a driver for it. There isn't a company making decisions to support hardware based on profit. Regular people who love stacks that are supporting the most diverse hardware and keeping drivers up to date. Customizable everything. You can just install and use, or customize to the infinity, from visuals to how Windows behave and what our keyboard does when you hit caps lock. It's important to mention that the people who build Linux do it because they want to, not to trap you in the ecosystem, not to upsell you cloud storage. They just like building good systems and sharing them. And that's beautiful. So yeah, even if Linux isn't perfect, it asks you what you want, wait for an answer, and then actually listens. Which is more emotional support than I gotten from most apps, every smart device I ever owned, and that one loading bar that refused to progress unless I made direct eye contact with it. Alright, that's where I had to stop before my executive function crashed. This was supposed to include distro recommendations too, but plot twists, now it's a two-part video. Part 2 will have actual recommendations, assuming I survive the export process. So please subscribe. I can go back to pretending I'm finding job interviews.